alice9.net presents the letter strokes. We're going to teach the letter strokes first, introduce those first. Why? Well, do you remember that in the handwriting research I shared, Dr. Simner said that the reason students had excessive form errors was that they had not been taught the sequential strokes needed to form the letter. So if we teach the letter strokes first, and there are 6 of them, those are the strokes that are used to form all letters of the alphabet. So if we teach them first, they get control of the pencil, they can pay attention to their handwriting habits and how to hold that pencil, how the paper lines up, where to place the pencil. They will get used to and understand the language of instruction when you tell them to curve, when you tell them 2 on the clock, to push, to pull. You talk about a baseline, a top line. All of that is learned while the letter strokes are introduced and practiced. And, of course, the habits are addressed. And this is easier to do, to teach the language of instruction and to address their habits when all they're doing is learning how to make a line. Because in a short time, they're going to learn how to put lines together to make a letter, and they're also going to be learning the sounds of that letter. So the content of their learning will increase. So if we take care of this basic learning at this point and work with this and introduce it now with the letter strokes, teaching the letters becomes easier. When you teach the letter strokes, the first stroke is a circle, and we use a clock face to help them make that circle, to make it proportioned and to go in the right directions, to curve when it needs to be, and to have it be very nice and rounded. With young children, you will want to spend time teaching them the clock face, not the clock for telling time, not the clock with numbers for the sake of number knowledge or anything like that, but the circle with 4 points on it, and you name those 4 points by the numbers of the clock, 2, 4, 8, and 10. And you can do that by putting a large one down on a shower curtain or something like that, and having students walk it out, or you can do it out on the blacktop with chalk, on cement with chalk, and have them work with that and get very familiar with the circle and its 4 points, so they can go immediately on any circle, whether it's marked or not. They can go on that circle and find the 2 and find the 10, find the 4, find the 8. Once they're familiar with that, then that becomes the backdrop for forming the lowercase letters, and the lowercase letters become very easy to form. In your teacher's guide, this is a clip from your teacher's guide. Here's the most common clock face position that is used, and we use this to form the circle and its 4 points. If you teach it and teach it well and use it, it will serve you well in forming the letters. And again, here's the picture of a handwriting station in kindergarten where they were practicing giant circles, giant letter strokes. In addition to the circle stroke, we have the short stroke, which starts at the midpoint and pulls to the baseline. Stopping at the baseline is a major technique for these students to learn. The tall stroke, and it can either start at the top line or start just a little below it. I start it just a little below with my students because I get them into notebook paper just as quickly as I can. When you write on notebook paper, there is no descender space, so you need to create a visual break between the line above, as it serves as a baseline for the writing above, and as it serves as a top line for the writing beneath. There's a descending stroke, and of course it stops short of the midpoint on the line beneath. The slanted stroke, which we use for X and V, and some of our W's are formed this way sometimes. And then the cross stroke that we use on the letter F and the letter T. And making that just above the midline enables them to see it better on their handwriting paper than if they actually made it right on the midline. No problem, they can make it either way. But these are the 6 basic letter strokes. And if you're in kindergarten, we work with these. In first grade, you can introduce them, and then as you assess your students' handwriting, you can choose to have practice, maybe intervention times for children that need it, where they practice these letter strokes. Once they get these letter strokes controlled, you will see an improvement in the formation of their letters. So work on the letter strokes.